Patreon member shout out. Hey you should have known better than the heck with someone like me. Hey you, forever and ever you're gonna wish I was your wifey. Don't act so innocent, this was no accident. You planned this in the end and now it's over. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. So, I typically get a lot of messages asking if, is this a good deal? Is that a good deal? And YouTube is probably the fastest way for me to get back to you. Everything else just goes on the back burner. YouTube is really my priority. But there is a strong minority of people that do not message that, and they message, hey, is this a good time to sell? Not is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time, trade? Is this a good time to sell? And I've gotten that quite a lot this past 12-ish, 16-ish hours because everything has mooned so much. And I figured to make a video about it, just letting you guys know what I've done to get here, what I would do right now, and what the other options are. So what I did to get here, and I promise this has a point. Last year I had sold a bunch of Tesla at like $700 a share, 800 give or take. And I did that because Omi was at like 0.0025 or whatever, and I was like, this is stupid. This should Omi should 10x at some point by at that time, so we'd reach 2.5 cents by early this year, which will still happen. And if I'd held on to Tesla, it would have increased another maybe 40-50%, a little over $1,000 now, maybe $1,100. But Omi had doubled, and I know that in the future, regardless of what happens short term, Omi would be huge. Omi would be go for a lot, and it would be a much better deal. Now, I didn't really have an emotional attachment to Tesla. They were just stocks, and I don't really have an emotional attachment to Omi, but I do have an emotional attachment to some of my collectibles. But the point of that story was that if you see something that you think is going to moon harder than what you currently have, it's not a bad idea to go and do that trade, to do that flip. I've done it before, Pokemon cards, with Tesla, high-risk lending and all that, Earth 2. And I've done it again here. Like, I sold, when I bought my, first appearance, Carmine Infantino Robin and my Penguin and my, Nightwing, I bought them for relatively cheap. And I sold all of those. I sold all of my Harley Quinns except for one. I have one, ultra rare Harley Quinn, Stephen Pugh. I'm not selling that for a while. And I did that so I could go and I could so I can get a second reso. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the second one at like $5K. I had to buy it at like $7,200, which is fine because they're $10,000 now. But if you were lucky enough to get one at $4,500, $5K, or second one, and you have doubled your purchase, it's if you wanted to go and say, hey, I doubled my money. Now I want to go and buy a Mickey hat, and I want to buy a Iron Man, and a couple of whatever you can get for 10 grand. That's probably not a bad idea. And I say this because I have an Iron Man, so I guess shilling or pumping my own bags, but I don't have a Mickey hat. Both Iron Man and Mickey hat do have they do share a similar story where they started down here, they were up here, and now they're down here again. Mickey hat especially was at like $4,200 at one point, and it wasn't just like it was there and nobody was buying. No, people were buying at that point, but then all the buyers bought, and then a bunch of people really wanted to take profit, and now it's not like $1,800. Iron Man, same thing. Iron Man was like close to $1,000, and now it's like 600-ish. I don't think it's a bad idea to go and say like, hey, people were paying these, and now they're at these prices, to go and do that. Now, you do run the risk of saying, okay, well, for Eddie Riso Batman to double, it has to go to 20K. For those to double, it doesn't really have to go that high. People were already paying that beforehand. Nobody was paying 20 grand for a resale unless it was like a sub 100, sub 40, something like that. Nobody's really doing that. But they might be in the future. So again, that's uncharted territory. We don't know where that's going to happen. We don't know where that's going to lead. But we've seen that happen with other collectibles before. And if you don't like the Mickey hat, you don't like Iron Man, you could do it with other things. And it doesn't have to be a resale. It could be with anything. It could be, when to take profit. When to say like, hey, you know what? I've done this flipping game enough this year. Now I have 100K or however much money you have. If you now have $10,000 and you want to buy OMI, let's say you could buy, again, to do that, you'd have to sell at a discount. But let's say you could buy 500,000 OMI. That's pretty good. 500,000 OMI, say $1 million when we get to 10 cents would be $100,000. And, 500,000 OMI would be $50,000 when we get to 10 cents. So you could take your $10,000, get 500,000 OMI, which is, honestly, you could probably even get close to $1 million. And then you could 10x your money again. Granted, this has to go to 10 cents, but I think it definitely can, well before the end of this year. And I'm not saying, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor over here, it says so in the description, but there are many ways to win. Ask any poker player how to play a pair of tens, and there's a bunch of different ways. You can win by going into saying, hey, I just want the gems. I know these will moon at some point, but I want the gems. I want to, lock in those profits, and then to be able to go and say, all right, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. I'm still waiting for Pokemon, still waiting for Harry Potter, we're still waiting for Lord of the Rings, all of these really big, amazing brands that haven't been announced yet. And let's say you just want gems for that. That's fair. I only have 1,000 gems myself. If that is announced, I am so screwed. Unless they do OMI to NFT. But let's say my collectibles are worth 100K right now, between them and the comics. And somebody says, I'll give you $100,000 worth of OMI. Well, I'd probably take that. But if they say, hey, I'll only give you $50,000 worth of OMI, that's a lot harder to take, because like all the collectibles that you're getting, if you sell that right now, you're most likely not going to get those collectibles for the same price again. Now, I think OMI will, at this point, because collectibles have shot up so much, that OMI will moon higher than what some of the collectibles will be, or I think most of them. But there's a chance that maybe it doesn't. Let's say OMI only 4x's from here. Let's say Hello K's prediction is true, and we only get to 2 cents. Well, I think the secret rare Spider-Man could possibly outperform OMI. That has to get to 120,000, but I think it's possible. I think there are a couple of things that might outshine it, especially ones that aren't even here yet. But again, this is just a couple of options that I'm talking about. This is what I'm doing. Am I selling anything right now? No, absolutely not. The only way I would sell any of my collectibles right now is if somebody said, hey, I like your mint number, and I will give you 10 or 20% higher than the floor for that mint number. And this way I can go and rebuy the floor, because I don't really care about the mint number, and then net those gems. That's the only way I would really sell right now. But again, that's me. I'm just telling you all your options. That's it for today. Anyone comment down below if you have any other questions, if you're confused about anything. But in the meantime, check out Star Helix, Wendy Stibalis, Kyle Willson, and Golden Assets on YouTube, and at Not Star Helix, at HeyDavidDon, and at EQ_crypto on the Twitter. Never say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. I will talk to you all later. All right, goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.